Joy Behar calls her a 10. I mean, how dare she objectify a woman with a sexist rating system, but it's such a typical thing from a 1.5.
Well said.
The motives stink worse than Joy Behar's jog bra. I mean, assuming she jogs. Oh, wait, there she is. All right. She has a point. Maybe I am obsessed, but some people are obsessed with Bigfoot, and they don't get to see him on TV every afternoon. And if they did, could they tell the two apart? I don't know.
Oh my gosh, you won't believe what just went down. Like, Joy Behar thought she had it all figured out, but Greg Gutfeld and Tyrus totally flipped the script on her. It was like watching a comedy hurricane mixed with a meltdown. She tried to keep that confident face, but Greg was tossing jokes so sharp they could cut glass, and Tyrus was just chilling, dropping one-liners that hit harder than a truck, and the way she started losing her cool right there live was pure chaos, and I swear it felt like a roast battle turned into a reality show meltdown all in one wild moment.
It's not even that. And The View, you don't need to find Trumpers. You need to fire your race baiters.
Yeah.
You need to fire the two races. You've had people. You had a McCain on there. You've had people on there before, and you ran them off. So the racist ones who want to stick to this, Whoopi and Sonny, and was it Bette Midler? What's her name? Yeah, broke-ass Bette Midler. Fire them and bring people in. Maybe you could get McCain to come back. She was a Republican, but every show and every break, she was nearly in tears because she was being...
So like Joy Behar was acting all high and mighty on her TV throne till Greg Gutfeld and Tyrus showed up with those sharp jokes and calm confidence, and in seconds her whole queen vibe crumbled right there on screen. And that look on her face was pure shock, like she just realized her reign was over.
Joy Behar accused Elon Musk of being pro-apartheid, but then begged him afterwards not to sue. Musk lawyers have yet to comment because they're still checking to see if it's legal to sue a cow.
Shots fired.
It's a legal question. I don't know why it's so upsetting. I don't make the rules in this country.
Let me tell you, this wasn't some loud shouting match or wild argument on stage. Nope, it was way colder than that. Greg and Tyrus just quietly took Joy apart piece by piece with jokes so sharp they could cut glass. And the crazy part is, she wasn't even there to defend herself, which somehow made it even worse. It was like watching someone lose a battle they didn't even show up for. And man, it left no doubt that her throne was shaking.
Now to some news. The feral monsters of The View say they've never heard of you-know-who. True, the show that makes mornings hell claim that my name doesn't ring a bell. It's time for...
Our view on The View. Ugh.
Yeah, the witch's coven finally shows me some lovin'. Yesterday on The View, yours truly was the subject of conversation. Apparently, the broads have no idea who I am, or so they say. Hit it,
Okay, so Greg Gutfeld was in his full savage mode doing what he does best, ripping apart the craziness of TV hosts without even saying Joy Behar's name. He just described those daytime stars who act all wise while sipping fancy wine and pretending they know real-life stuff like how much gas even costs. And honestly, if that's not Joy in her comfort zone, then I don't know what is. His jokes were so sharp, it felt like you could actually hear them cutting right through her perfect TV image.
Said that Gutfeld talks about you all the time.
Who is he? Well, really, who is he?
I don't watch the show.
He has a show.
I don't watch the
never
show.
heard of him.
Yeah.
I guess he's just obsessed with me.
No. Next, Joy's gonna say she's never heard of carbs. Seriously, her denial of knowing me is as believable as her red hair. But obsession? I mean, come on, Joy. Where would you even get that idea? Like Joy Behar's face, it's looking worse and worse by the day. More full of crap than Joy Behar after a night of scotch and Taco Bell. Her being named Joy is like me being named ugly. Joy wasn't there on the show. Apparently Mondays are her days off when she feeds in the pasture. It now smells like a humid day inside Joy Behar's.
So Tyrus came in all calm and cold like he always does. No yelling, no drama, just that chill vibe with jokes that hit like silent bullets while Joy was still busy performing for her clapping crowd. crowd. Tyrus sat there with that look that said, "Are we seriously still buying what she's selling?" And the crazy part is, he never even said her name, but everyone knew exactly who he was talking about. It wasn't just a joke. It felt like a perfect takedown, and poor Joy turned into the punchline of a show she didn't even get invited to.
No, this is what elitists do who can't, like, if you don't know who someone is, how did you know to automatically hate him? Like, I mean, that's how fake and full of she is. Gutfeld, never heard of him. Don't like him. Why? Cause why? That's why I just turned to one of my kids. Cause why?
Yeah.
Cause I don't know who he is. Never heard of him at all in my entire life. But why? Cause I don't know. Because they are the last TV show to talk about high turnover. We've been rolling 3 steady for a long time.
Yeah.
We don't take breaks in the commercial to get away from each other. Well, that's what the drinking's for.
Yes.
Meghan McCain, how'd that go?
Yeah.
Rosie O'Donnell, or any of these previous fellow employees? Because one of the things they said was that no one walks away from money. Right?
Yeah.
So they got people running away from him.
And this is where Greg Gutfeld really showed his genius. He didn't argue or shout. He just laughed that quiet, confident laugh and used his timing and expressions to pull apart everything Joy's been holding on to for years. It wasn't even a fight. It was pure comedy, wrecking her whole image without breaking a sweat. And the funniest part is she still thinks she's winning like a captain, smiling on a sinking ship while Greg and Tyrus just stood back, letting reality do all the work for them.
The problem is that you have to go after the racist people, and be the CEO goes, you know what, I'm not going to allow a woman on my show, or man, that will go after white America and talk about them like dogs. That doesn't represent our ideals or values for anyone. And get rid of those people, and this will clear up real quick. So do you have to actually look in the mirror and clean up your own backyard and get the racist people out? Because that's who you allowed in. You allowed black racist on TV who could just go all day and say anything about white people. And I guess lo and behold, they forgot that there's a lot of people at home, white people at home during the day, that are not watching your show anymore. So just clean it up.
Yeah, Emma.
So Tyrus doesn't need all that noise or fancy drama. He just sits there calm as ever, using that blank stare and quiet tone that somehow says more than a whole speech, while Joy Behar is busy putting on a full show just to make one point. Tyrus can lift an eyebrow and boom, everyone gets it. Joy's been out of touch for ages, but she still acts like she's the voice of reason, giving big speeches that hit like a flat joke, and that applause she lives for isn't real. It's just people clapping out a habit, while Greg and Tyrus bring the kind of humor that actually lands and makes you see how ridiculous it all really is.
It's about the view. It's become like a medical hospital that displays human misfailure. Like it's like here, let's look at this political oddity. It's like it really is like the left-wing equivalent of a carnival sideshow, except instead of bearded ladies and fat clowns and two-headed cows. Well, let me rephrase that. But The View is a victim of the sunk cost fallacy. How can you now speak the truth when for years you've been telling lie after lie after lie? Now you're carrying this big bag of rocks around you because it's too harmful for their ego to admit that we really were dishonest. And they could be honest. All they would have to say is, look, we hate Trump so much, we were willing to lie about Joe Biden because we felt he was preferable. We thought our lying and our cover-up was on your behalf. Just say that. You're still scum, but at least you're honest scum.
So Tyrus just gave her that look, the one that says, girl, do you even hear yourself right now? And then he simply walked off, leaving her words to crash on their own. He didn't need to argue or shout. He just stood there letting that calm stare do the roasting, because Joy can't handle that kind of quiet truth. She lives off loud drama and fake outrage, while Greg just dances around her chaos, using humor and smart comebacks to show how silly it all is. And the wild part is she could stop pretending anytime, but she won't, because she loves that TV spotlight way too much, and that's what Greg and Tyrus really exposed, not Joy the person, but the act she's been playing for years.
Sure, all that, and the price of butter. Sonny gets the game ball. If it wasn't for her, asking that question, it might have been a closer election. But when nothing really comes to mind, I was like, cha-ching. Listen, they're bitter, they're angry, they're entitled. They also should be. This should have been a reset for everyone who pushed lies and misinformation for the last. They call him Hitler. They call these things. America rejected them, and instead of coming back and saying we lied, they instead are now doubling down. So let her keep doing it, because if she keeps that up, we're going to keep getting the Senate and probably the House and the White House, because people see right through.
It was honestly like watching someone point out that the emperor forgot to wear his clothes without even saying his name, and yet everyone instantly knows who's standing there totally exposed. Tyrus didn't have to crack a joke or even open his mouth. He just sat there with that calm, stone face that screamed, "Wow, I can't believe this is what we're actually talking about right now," and that silence hit harder than any punchline. 𝐃𝐢𝐬𝐿𝐼's confidence kind of melted right in front of everyone, and the best part was they didn't even have to show up on her stage to make it happen. It's been ages since that show was about real conversation. Now it's more like a skit about people pretending to have deep thoughts while the audience claps on cue, and what Greg and Tyrus do is the total opposite. They don't need cards or rehearsed lines or fake applause. They just sit there, talk real, and somehow turn every awkward truth into comedy. Gold, and watching that happen felt like justice finally catching up to the drama.
Joy sure loves running her mouth. She should. But she should. It's the only running she does. Emily! So what did you make of this? VVAC is what she called him. I don't care if you disagree or agree with him. That dude is not dumb.
No, and that is what was so ridiculous. Everything that comes out of her mouth is ridiculous, but for her to make that kind of point about someone that we all know, that regardless how you feel about his politics or him running, that he is undeniably brilliant, is so ridiculous.
While The View keeps clapping for itself, pretending it's some big, deep show, Greg Gutfeld and Tyrus are out here serving comedy that actually bites, and you can totally tell which one people love more. One side keeps preaching and scolding, while the other side just makes you laugh till it hurts. And let's be real, when folks get tired of being talked down to, they always choose laughter. Joy Behar wasn't even part of this takedown. She was probably sitting in her chair waiting for some grand debate, while Greg and Tyrus were already roasting her from miles away, like an old TV dinner left too long in the oven. There was no invite, no red carpet, just quiet destruction from another studio. Greg lit the fuse, took a calm sip of coffee, and watched her whole act start to shake apart. And Tyrus finished it off with that one blank look and a little snort that said everything without saying a word.
Here's Joy Behar talking about refusing to share a kidney.
I find it friends with a Trump supporter. I won't give them a kidney, but I could be friends with them.
Hey, Joy, it's a kidney, not a pizza. Of course, she's kidding at first, but then she goes on to explain the moral foundation for her resentment, and it's the same one that drives all deadly ideology.
And that's the part that really hits hard, because Joy was ready for a loud fight, maybe a dramatic split-screen moment with shouting and fake gasps, but instead she ended up being roasted in a show where she didn't even matter anymore. Like, imagine spending years trying to stir people up only to realize no one even cares to argue now because the whole act is old. The jokes are stale and the crowd has already moved on. Even worse, the audience doesn't miss her at all. People are done with those overhyped TV lectures pretending to be smart talk. They want something real and funny with that quick wit and sly side-eye that says more than 1,000 words. And honestly, The View doesn't feel like a real talk show anymore. It's like a weird wax museum where the hosts just repeat the same outrage over and over, serving cold leftovers while the world outside is busy laughing with Greg and Tyrus instead.
Sausage maker Johnsonville is recalling more than 42,000 pounds of pork sausage for possible contamination with plastic fibers. Fortunately, authorities were able to track all 42,000 pounds to a single location in New York City.
It's wild how no young viewer wants to hear rich TV hosts lecture them anymore. They're done with fake applause and puppet shows where you can see the strings. Now everyone's watching Greg Gutfeld and Tyrus turning all that nonsense into sharp, funny moments, while Joy Behar's still out there yelling at clouds like the storm didn't end years ago. The truth is, the roast already happened without her, and her shiny throne's just a shaky stool sitting in the dust of old jokes and fake laughs. So if you like the drama and the laughs, then hit subscribe and stay tuned on 𝐃𝐢𝐬𝐿𝐼 Reports, where we keep it real and spill all the tea you don't want to miss.